So how good are the Beastmen when they're in the hands of a player who knows how to use them? I played the Beastmen recently and struggled, but our friend Romulan Dog has sent us a replay that I think you're going to enjoy. Let's take a quick look at his army composition here. It is going to be an ambush army. So he's got Ungor Herd mixed with Gore Herds, and then he's got 4 units of Centaurs with great weapons, one of which is the Sons of Goros here, which is an incredibly strong unit of Centaurs that even has the Guardian ability here, so it can guard enemy heroes, or sorry, friendly heroes. There's 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison. The main deployment, he's actually got some Harpies, and then way back here, a Bray Shaman of Death. There's some more Harpies, and you can see the High Elves aren't even facing the right direction because they have totally underestimated which direction that their enemies are going to come from. There are 3 Lothern Sea Guard up front, a Phoenix Guard, 2 White Lions, Swordmaster, a Sun Dragon, and then Techless. So you can see they are all faced the wrong direction. Let's just see how fast the Beastmen can make your day go wrong. Play! Here we go. So yes, as you use the Beastmen, I find that there's a few things you gotta keep in mind. You've gotta have a quick, hard hit. You've gotta focus on key elements of the battle, meaning key units or key fights to win. And you have to avoid the fights that are gonna lose things for you. So for the Beastmen here, you can see how he's going to use his Centaurs with great weapons to help deliver the extra damage that his own infantry really can't deal to these armor-piercing units. He'll then retreat the Centaurs with great weapons after the initial hit and let his units start tanking. The Warhounds with poison quickly get to work on the archers so that the archers cannot help the fight, and you can see that he's craftily taking a couple of units of Ungors around the flanks in order to tie down the Lothern Sea Guard, so again that they cannot make the difference. You can see here the regrouped Centaurs, and then here comes Khazrak himself. All the while, Harpies are thrown after the dragon, and the High Elf player is pretty much so confused right now as to what to do that he's not really even able to micro the dragon. Techless is going to try and drop a spell. You can see Khazrak here comes through the main line and helps destroy a Swordmaster, who's getting a second charge from these Centaurs with great weapons. You can see the fights where he's going to lose, he simply ignores. Don't waste resources. So he's going to lose this fight, so you'll see him swing around it. Lead the enemy away, focus where you're going to win, and you can see that's exactly what he's doing here, and he is just picking apart this elf army. Reaver archers, who cares? What are they going to do at this point? What are they going to do? So the dragon is trying to do some work. It's constantly harassed by Harpies, and because it's not attacking back and being microed around to try and fight other things, it's actually taking a lot of damage at the hands of mere Harpies. A couple of key units here led away by a Centaur. So again, divide, conquer, destroy. So the Beastmen in the proper hands are going to do this to you. They're going to hit you hard in very specific places with focused attacks. Centaurs with great weapons are going to deliver devastating anti-armor hits, and then the infantry is going to follow it up in huge numbers, whereas Warhounds with poison can slow down, so like if the dragon lands, the Centaurs with great weapons and the poison Warhounds will pounce, and you will see a dragon melt away in a big hurry. The Bray Shaman of Death comes in to just support with magic as needed, or to lend itself as a chariot unit. That is how quickly, in the right hands, the Beastmen can ruin your day. This is why they're dangerous. This is what I tell you about. Why you've got to respect them, even though a lot of people don't necessarily think that they're a faction that's first tier. And it's because, again, in skilled hands, they can be brutally effective. And this is one of those examples. Let's take a look at another one. So we're here in a second battle with basically the same build from the Beastmen player, except there are a few minor differences. This time you're going to see he's going to deploy some of his units right in front of the enemy, and some around the flanks and out to the sides. There's some Centaurs there. We do have the Butchers of Kalkengard here, which look like a bunch of dairy cows that have been drugged up, roided up, angered, and that they really hate the world. So the Skaven player here up front is going to have Clan Rat Spears and Storm Vermin, so a fairly stout armored center. They're backed up by Tretch Craventail, which is an odd pick under any circumstances. There is an Assassin, which can help debuff enemy heroes. A Hell Pit Abomination for anti-large, not a bad pick. You can see large units brought in by the Beastmen, and then you've got a Plague Priest back here, Clan Rat Spears, Slave Spears in the back, and quite a few Slave Slingers and some Gutter Runners with poison up front as well. And you can see the snare nets hitting the Beastmen infantry. This is not good news. You're going to see the Skaven cause some pretty decent damage right here at the first. But again, what I mentioned in the last battle, where do you attack? So let's slow down and think through this real quick. Where is the Beastmen player going to attack? You're going to attack right up the center, into Rat Ogres, into a waiting Hell Pit Abomination? No. And you can see that the Beastmen player is going to make this attack decision. Here he's moving right towards the Storm Vermin. This is the strongest point of the Skaven army. The strongest point. If these Gore Herds attack it head on, they're going to lose. And it sure looks like that's what they're going to do. Let's hit play. Watch what happens. No, he sees that. This isn't the right decision. He's going to hit the flanks, so he brings his units in from the flanks, and you can see all of a sudden a lightning strike coming in from behind. The center, which is the strength of the Skaven, is ignored. He goes around it. He goes for the flanks, which are weak and can be crumbled quickly. The Hell Pit Abomination comes on out to try and put a stop to that, but at this point the damage is starting to be done. You've got Khazrak into the back lines. You've got the flanks in severe trouble, and just watch how quickly a flank can get crunched up by the Beastmen. Look at the charge here by the Centaurs, gruesome. Then the Clan Rats get hit from the other direction by a Gore Herd, also gruesome. Pretty quickly, this flank finds itself in massive trouble. Here comes the Harpies, and then the Butchers of Kalkengrad are moving in. The other flank is the same story. The Beastmen have hit hard on the flanks. The center is ignored. The Skaven player has not reacted quickly enough to either flank, and the Beastmen player has left his strong center doing nothing except getting hit by the Bray Shaman, Lore of Beast, and you can see the damage is being done. This flank already opened up by the Butchers, and now the Storm Vermin are going to take the full force of the Butchers of Kalkengard, as well as armor-piercing. These are actually not Centaurs with great weapons right here. So he did change his army some. I didn't catch all of them. Some of them are still the great weapon Centaurs, but against the Skaven, you don't need as much armor-piercing, which is probably part of his reasoning for that, and you don't have to worry about flying monsters. You can see that by the time the Skaven transfer their forces in the center to help the other fights, an entire flank, let's just take a look at this real quick, an entire flank, the Skaven army used to stand straight across like this, lost this entire flank, and how quickly they did it, about a minute or so into the battle. And again, that's the focus that you're going to see from Romulan Dog, who's doing a fantastic job with the Beastmen today and leading them to what looks like a pretty solid victory. So again, the strongest units from the Skaven were the Storm Vermin and the Hell Pit Abomination. The Hell Pit Abomination was avoided and ignored, and other key units were mopped up, and now there is no infantry support for the strongest of the Skaven units. Now with the infantry support, these units might terrorize, they might defeat the otherwise somewhat weak leadership, Beastmen infantry, but in this case, the Beastmen have them singled out and ready for destruction. You can also see the Beastmen forces are going to be very vigilant in chasing out routing units so that they can't come back to turn the tide of battle. That's what these fast-moving units are going to be good for. Chase down the running, rotten Skaven and destroy them. So this is how the Beastmen, in my opinion, get used well. I'm still not good at it. It takes practice. If you're going to do it, I think that these battles perfectly illustrate how it's done. Can you run onto an opponent who's good at countering it, who's good at guessing it? Yes. Yes, you can. But that's the fun of the Beastmen, in my opinion, is that if people don't guess it, you can have fun watching their army completely fall apart in moments. This has happened to me a lot in multiplayer, and it's happened to these two players, again, because you saw a skillful play by Romulan Dog, and he's not even perfect. Look, here's a mismicroed unit back here. You don't have to be perfect at it. If you can get the right hit at the right time, it can be done. So, again, I don't know if you all watched the battle I did with the Beastmen against the Dark Elves the other day. The plan kind of almost worked, right? Where I tried to isolate the flanks, but you'll notice that here, I still just went head-on with the enemy, whereas there was a lot of really good focus here in terms of the Beastmen focusing down flanks and then being able to concentrate their units for greater effect in the center. So you can see Tretch gives it up, the Hell Pit Abomination gives up, the Plague Priest is done, and there you have it. Two very quick victories for the Beastmen. So Really wanted to show you these replays and hopefully do a bit of a tactical breakdown on it here so that you all could get an idea of how to use the Beastmen effectively. Now, these were both ambush situations. You don't have to use the Beastmen in ambush situations. They're good in other situations, depending on how you use them. They don't have to Vanguard deploy to hit hard and fast and to be able to, single out those flanks. So this is an example of how they did that. If you have some examples where you think you use the Beastmen well in a non-ambush situation, I can try and show those off for you. But thank you very much for Romulan Dog to send these in. I really enjoyed these, and I think it's a great demonstration of how to use the Beastmen effectively. You saw it in a couple of battles. It says close victory. These were not close victories, folks. This was, and this is not meant as any offense towards Common Soldier or the other opponent that he played, but they got smashed. And I would say the same of myself if I were in their position. This was extremely well executed, and again, a fun way to see the Beastmen. What do you all think? Do you like these Vanguard armies? I think they're pretty cool. I like how the Beastmen can do that. I think it's a strength for them, and it makes them unpredictable, and that's one of the reasons why I am always a little bit afraid of going up against the Beastmen in multiplayer. No matter what faction I bring, they always instill just a little bit of fear deep down that someone's going to control them like that, and I'm going to be on the receiving end of what Romulan Dog termed in the replay a Beastmen Slambush. So, a Beastmen Slambush indeed. Hey, if y'all enjoyed the video, if you liked watching this, you thought it was useful, you thought it was entertaining, hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. If y'all can help me get a ton of likes, it helps these videos be found and it helps more people get to enjoy them. Also, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed and you do want to see more, click that subscribe button. Click the bell. Be the first to know about the new videos, and I can keep the great content coming to you. Really appreciate y'all being here. Can't wait to be back with some more content soon. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.